Good morning, and welcome to Tuesday Talk, January 30th, 2024. I am Dr. Rosalind Osgood, and I'm coming to you live this morning from the capital of Florida in Tallahassee. We'll start this morning talking about legislation that is good legislation. Today in the Healthcare Committee, we will discuss Senate Bill 1320 being sponsored by Senator Kalatayu. And this bill authorizes and requires pharmacists to get involved in HIV exposure screening and treatment for adults. We know that science has really transformed the HIV arena. We have better medication. We continue to do research, and I anticipate within the next 10 years we'll actually have a cure. But this bill is encouraging pharmacies to get involved to make sure that they are involved with HIV exposure screenings and treatments for adults. We want to continue to help those persons that are HIV positive have access to all of the various treatment opportunities that are available. So I will be a yes on this bill today. Also in the Health Policy Committee today, we're dealing with the bill for healthcare practitioners, Senate Bill 1112. And with that bill, it will deal with titles and designations for healthcare workers. As we continue to try to build the healthcare arena, we want to make sure that we are giving proper honor to those persons that are healthcare providers. So this bill will provide that any healthcare provider misrepresenting himself or herself will be subject to disciplinary actions. So in some of our communities, we have a lot of, people that are doing plastic surgery, lipos, and other kinds of things, and they're not real doctors are licensed to do so. So we want to make sure that we have things in place that when people are operating in a way that is not a way of integrity, then we want to have laws in place that we're able to give consequences and deal with those types of things. I'm excited today. I actually have two bills up in committee. One is the career theme bill, Senate Bill 1688, that I talked with you about on last week, that will encourage school districts to make families and children aware of the academic academies and career theme courses that are available to them starting at middle school. We have some bright young people, and we want to get them exposed to career opportunities in middle school. The more we expose our children to these opportunities, the more opportunities they have to develop their careers and to begin to decide, what are possibilities for their future. We can't just wait, to high school to expose them to the various career opportunities. I also have Senate Bill 350, the cold case bill, up today. And this bill is a very, very critical bill. According to the information on Project Cold Case website, of the approximately 57,181 homicides committed in Florida from 1995 to 2002, 19,549 of those cases are still open cases. They are listed as unsolved. So it's very difficult to track these bills because we have not been keeping accurate data. So since Senate Bill 350 creates the Decker-Bettman Act for cold case murders, and this bill is named after two of the thousands of those that were murdered and are now cold cases here in Florida. It is the name of Malin Decker and Cliff Beckman. Malin Decker was found murdered and left in a canal off Flamingo Road in Davie, Florida, 35 years ago. To date, no one has been charged with a crime in her case. Cliff Beckman was shot and killed in Jacksonville in 2009. And again, no one has been charged with the crime. So we've been working over the summer and was asked to file this bill by the Davie Police Department, two of the detectives there that we've been working with. And what we're trying to do is put a system in place in the state of Florida to fix how cold cases are handled for our state. So we've been working with Mr. Beckman, Miss Decker's sister, two very, very great officers from the Davie Police Department, and trying to resolve this or put something in place. So this act will require and lay out the criteria for how police departments will handle requests about cold case. And if the police departments don't have the resources or the staff to reinvestigate these cases, then the Florida Department of Law Enforcement will be fully staffed and funded to relook at these cases. We want to try to help these families bring closure. We don't want their loved ones to be dead and there's no justice and no one's given attention or trying to find out and investigate who killed them and get some type of resolve. So you might have saw me on TV on yesterday in the Community Affairs Committee dealing with Senate Bill 1530, unauthorized public camping and public sleeping is prohibited by counties and municipalities unless they have a permit. The bill gave me a lot of frustration and a lot of pause because we know that homelessness is an issue. And at some point, we have to come together and use adaptive problem solving to deal with the issue of homelessness, especially at times like this when it's cold. Homeless people are people. They are people that we should esteem, that we should have compassion toward. Many homeless people work, so they're also taxpayers. So this bill says that a city or county cannot have a homeless camp or allow homeless individuals to sleep on public property unless they have a permit. I don't understand the bill. I don't know who the county or city would get the permit from. Maybe they would get it from themselves. And then if the homeless person is found sleeping in an area where there's not a permit or it's not designated for a homeless camp, they get arrested. Putting homeless people in jail is not the solution to homelessness. When individuals go to jail, then we all pay more. I have lived homeless previously with my children. So if I get arrested, then it separates me from my children. They go over to custody of the Department of Children and Families. And I think a lot of times in Tallahassee, we have real good intentions to fix a problem, but we don't always do the due diligence to explore the unintended consequences that fixing that problem or our decision is going to have on others. So I was a major no on the Senate Bill 1530. I don't think it's right to just put homeless people in jail because they're having a hardship or they're dealing with mental illness or whatever their situation is. It doesn't mean that they're bad people and that we shouldn't want and desire for them what we want and desire for our family and work to make those things happen. So yesterday, that bill really, really disturbed me. On last week, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated visited the Florida Capitol. kudos to Regional Director of the South Atlantic Region, the Honorable Tiffany Moore Russell, and all the other members of Alpha Kappa Alpha that joined us at the Capitol on last week. It was an extreme delight to have in our presence the Honorable Frederica Wilson, Congresswoman, legendary legislator, started as a principal, then became a school board member, served in the House and the Senate, and now has been representing the city of Miami in Congress for a number of years. She's also a former South Atlantic Regional Director. So we were really blessed to have in our presence Dr. Norman Solomon White, Dr. Carolyn House Stewart, our 28th International President of Alpha Kappa Alpha. Dr. Norman Solomon White was also a former international president of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. We also had other regional directors with us, and just a host of women who are members of Alpha Kappa Alpha here at the Florida Capitol, advocating around the issues of Black maternal health, with a special focus on mental health and youth mental health. We are planning a big regional conference in April, and as a part of that conference, we will have a major grassroots canvassing for Get Out the Vote. So Alpha Kappa Alpha is a wonderful sorority. I'm a proud member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated and member of the Zeta Rho Omega chapter. We had many members of Alpha Kappa Alpha from Broward County here at the Capitol last week. Broward County has 5 wonderful, amazing chapters of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. We had with us the president of the Miramar chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Alpha Alpha Beta Omega, in the person of Dr. Cheryl Larkins. We also had the president of the chapter, in which I'm a member of, the Zeta Rho Omega chapter, the president, Nikki Austin Shipp. So as we continue to connect and continue to advocate and voice our support for issues and policies that's going to make the world a better place, we need all hands on deck. We're looking forward to the month of February, where we will have Delta Sigma Theta Day at the Capitol and the Links Incorporated Florida Links Day at the Capitol. We continue to engage our civic organizations and our groups. And I'm going to get in a lot of trouble if I don't say also that last week was Alpha Phi Alpha Day at the Capitol and Omega Psi Phi Day at the Capitol. So we have our Divine Nine that's engaged with Get Out the Vote, advocacy, and making a difference in our community. And what I like so wonderful about these groups is they all work with groups of young people and children, from scholarships to giving them opportunities to come to the Capitol to experience the legislative process. It is just a wonderful thing to see so many young people at the Capitol. Last week I met with various groups of young people. One I remember, and I'm not remembering the name right now, from American Heritage. And they were here to tell me about their STEM program, their robotics program, and how they're trying to replicate it across the state. So it's busy in Tallahassee. It's a lot that happens here. You have thousands of bills that are filed and go through various committees. You have different groups and individuals coming to visit the Capitol to advocate, to expose young people to the political process. But what I need, more importantly, is you. I need you, if you have not already done so, to go to your Supervisor of Elections website and request your vote by mail ballot. We were all kicked off the roll in January 2023. Even if you plan to vote in person, request a vote by mail ballot. It gives you options. You may change your mind. You may have a medical issue, an emergency. You can fill out your ballot and mail your ballot in. I also need you to call 3 other people and talk to them about voting, requesting their vote by mail ballots. Start making your voting plan now, that you have a plan to vote. We have to prioritize voting and plan to vote early. Tomorrow starts Faith in Florida Day at the Capitol. You know, Faith in Florida is an organization led by Pastor Rhonda Thomas, and they do a lot of grassroots work across the state of Florida, from canvassing, get out the vote, teaching on topics like Black history. They have an online Black History Toolkit that's available to you at the Faith in Florida website. They've been leading in Florida, teaching around white Christian nationalism and how it is embedded in all of the systems that we operate in. And it's a part of the root cause of why we see so many disparities. So stay connected and stay tuned. Thank you for joining me this morning, January 30th, 2024, for Tuesday Talks. I look forward to joining you again on next Tuesday at 8 a.m. here on Facebook Live. Have a great day today.